Hello, everyone. This time I will be talking a little bit about Pam Muñoz. She is a writer for one of my favorite books called When Marián Sang. Probably many of you are very familiar with this book. It's a biography of Marian Anderson. But I will be talking about her story, Marian Anderson, in a little bit. Right now, I want to focus on Pam Muñoz and why I like her work, and I'll tell you a little bit about her too. I chose her because she has roots from Mexico, and as I explained here in this little handout, Pam Muñoz was born in California, and she explained that half of her family was born in Mexico and half in Oklahoma. So she has a mix of cultures, and she forms part of this diversity here in the United States. She says that she grew up eating enchiladas, Mexican enchiladas. So she has a lot of connection with the Mexican roots as well. And one of her books called Esperanza Rising, the one that you can see over here, it says that she really identified with that story a lot, especially with her grandmother, who she said is a survivor because of her accomplishments. She said that her grandmother lived through the times of, let's see right here, the times of, deportation. The Mexican Deportation Act, but says that they actually overcame that to do better here in the United States. Muñoz was a teacher, but then she realized that she had a lot of skills in writing books, and she dedicates now that to a full time there in California, in San Diego. So here are some of her works. If you ever want to read about them, one of them is Esperanza, which means hope, rising, from Pam Muñoz. Her other book is Nacho and Lolita. Very good children's books. I haven't read it yet, but I can tell you that she writes really good books, especially in the realistic genre. Mike and Bean and Echo. Now that I have introduced Pam Muñoz, you can look her up. Her full name is Pam Muñoz Ryan. I'll show it to you right there, so you can look it up if you ever want to. Really good children's writer. One of her books is this one right here. I want to show you When Marián Sang. This was introduced in our literature class, and I loved it because it's a biography. It's a real story, and I love real life stories, especially her, because she overcame a lot of obstacles to do what she liked, and she's really an example to many of us because she went through difficult times during the oppression and discrimination times here in the United States, during the times of during the 40s, 50s, about there. So she, as you can see, was a person with descendants, with roots connected to Africa. So African American lady who, when she was a child, demonstrated that she had a lot of skills singing, but because of her color, she couldn't sing in public or where in these institutions like the Metropolitan Opera place where famous people sang. She couldn't sing that. But a lot of people recognize her voice since she was little, and actually she united about 70,000 people over there by the Lincoln Memorial. Outside, people waited for her to just listen because they liked her voice. They weren't caring about her color. They wanted to hear her voice. But she was rejected from many places because of her color and the laws at the time. However, Marián went to Europe, to some countries in Europe where racism wasn't as strong, or in fact they were getting over that fact, and they realized that it had no purpose. So they recognized Marián skills and gift to sing, and they gave her a chance. So she was more famous to sing in the opera halls and institutions that allow her to sing over there instead of here. But she had family here, so she had to come back, and she was starting to get accepted over time, but she had a really hard time. So if you ever want to read about a realistic book, which is good literature for children to learn and understand, this is a great book, When Marián Sang, by Pam Muñoz, the same author that I just talked about. It's her right there. Really, really famous, really great author for children and good literature. I highly recommend it based on her work. And I have created an activity for children. So I want to explain a little bit about the activity. What I plan here is for children to use clay, and what children are going to do is the following. They're going to make their flags of their choosing. So they're going to choose any flag they like, and according to that flag, they're going to find a author of children's literature in that country. And they're going to write a very, very, very short biography of that author. That's the activity right there. That's what it's going to look like. Probably children will make a better job than I did, but I hope that they have fun and they can learn a lot from this activity. So this was my brief review of Pam Muñoz. I hope you liked it, and I hope you get to choose these books. If you ever are wondering about which books to choose, what literature and from who, there are tons of authors out there, depending on the age of your child. Eric Carle is one of them, very famous for picture books, but she's really good. Pam Muñoz, and this was a brief biography explanation of her work and herself. Thank you.